Welcome to UNCAGED. Today we're speaking with Bill Dunn. Bill, it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here. Appreciate you inviting me on.
Absolutely. So Bill is the president of CNS Cleaning Company. We're going to talk about CNS and everything they do to keep the greater Philadelphia area clean, as well as other areas, and what they're working on lately. But before we get there, Bill, let's talk a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about your life and your career.
Yeah, so thanks. So as a person who's a new entrepreneur, I should say, I worked in corporate America for over 35 years in the wine and spirits industry. Okay. And always wanted to own my own business. Everyone in my family has their own business. My mother, my father have their own businesses. Both of my brothers. I mean, I was the only one that didn't own their own business, and was always jealous of my brothers for having the gumption and the ability to take things where they wanted to and run their own and start their own businesses. But when I turned 50, I made the decision, as I had thought of years before, that if I didn't do it now, I was never going to do it. So at 50 is when I purchased this business, but at 48 is when I started looking. So my wife and I own this business together, but when I was 48, I really, in earnest, really put my foot down and said to myself, you got to make this happen. You're going to do it now or you're never going to do it. So it took me 2 years, worked with business brokers, met a lot of business owners, interviewed a lot of people, and I realized that buying a business was way better than starting a business, at least for somebody like me, because I wanted to have some sort of sense of something with history, something with profitability already, something that I couldn't screw up, basically.
Right.
And so at 50, we made it happen. We mortgaged everything that we had. We took a second mortgage on our home, maxed out all of our credit cards, took out a huge loan, and purchased CNS. Used all our retirement funds, every dollar that I had saved for over 30 years, and took a bet on purchasing this company. And thank God it's worked out. The way that we hoped it would, and even better than we thought. But it's been a wild ride, and it's been a lot of fun. And I like to talk to people like yourself and go on podcasts like this to talk to other people who would like to be entrepreneurs and maybe have spent their life in corporate America and are afraid to make the leap, just like I was. Hopefully I'm an inspiration for some people, but you can do it.
Your story resonates with me. I had a similar path where I was kind of like a mid-career entrepreneur. Spent most of my career probably like you. I felt like, oh, well, I need to work in the big corporate thing. I got to see how that's going to go. I need to learn. But I always really wanted to do something entrepreneurial. And, I started at the age of 40 and really kind of built it out. And it's a really interesting thing. I'd love to talk to you more about that because it's a wonderful topic at some point. But, the number of entrepreneurs that are successful, that start businesses or acquire kind of that acquire business and kind of get going, the number that are successful as entrepreneurs is so much higher.
Yes.
And I often think that we do entrepreneurialism a disservice in just focusing on the 20-somethings that kind of hit it big, because that's a type of entrepreneurialism.
Yes.
And it's actually a little bit more of a lottery play.
Oh, absolutely.
Whereas the other one is a little bit more kind of sophisticated. Well, that's great. Well, so you acquired CNS. So tell me a little bit about that journey. What's it been like?
Yeah, so when we acquired CNS, and I had zero entrepreneurial experience before, and I worked in the wine and spirits business in various positions, mostly in management over those years, and managed small business units, things like that. But actually taking the reins and running my own business was, in the beginning, extremely hard. I mean, extremely hard. Taking on the day-to-day management of a work, we had over 300 cleaners at the time when we purchased this company. dealing with those day-to-day headaches and customers and clients and everything else was like nothing I had ever experienced before. And I thought it's cleaning. It's not how sophisticated could it be. It's it's commercial cleaning, but it was quite difficult to say the least to get my hands around everything. And luckily, I had my wife as my business partner, and she was an HR executive for most of her career, and so she understood a half of the business and what needed to be done versus me doing the marketing and finance and operations side of things. But it was the first 6 months, I'm not going to lie, were brutal. A lot of sleepless nights because of all the debt and everything that we took on. And then COVID hit 6 months after we purchased the business. So we were dying. I mean, we lost $50,000 a month in revenue literally in 1 week. And we looking at these loans and everything else that we had to deal with, and we're scared to death. And thank God it worked out the way that it did. COVID ended up being the best thing for our business, because in the 6 months prior to COVID hitting, we had spent a lot of money in advertising for the company to try and get our name in the Philadelphia area, build some brand recognition. Even though the company was 36 years old, the previous owner had done very little in terms of marketing, basically nothing. So we were lucky in that regard that there was so much to build upon, and it hit right at the right time. And the company always had a good reputation. The previous owners did a very good job and were very much in, it built the business on customer service and had a unique selling proposition for its clients that they delivered the highest quality of customer service in this industry that I've ever seen. And we've continued that tradition through today and even enhanced it and improved upon it. Excellent. So it worked out to be the best thing ever for us. I mean, 2020 was amazing.
I tell you, people now forget about COVID almost, because it almost seems like it was like, did that really happen? But, I'll never forget that kind of late March timing where we must have had maybe 30% of our customers that paused. And I was sitting there like lying on my living room floor, like, oh my God, like, what am I gonna do? Right? Yes. And it was like a real existential moment. But I'm so happy that things move forward for you guys. And tell me a little bit about CNS today. Like when the customers now, like, what are they looking for? Are there specific issues? I mean, obviously during COVID, everyone was so panicked about everything, but I mean, what are the things that you're finding people are asking you for and about? Yeah,
so for us, as I mentioned before, this company, we're built on customer service. So we answer the phone live here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like the office, we have 4 full-time customer service reps here that all they do is answer the phone. So whenever somebody calls CNS, you get a live person on the phone. Like I said, even at 3 a.m., we're here to service our customers and people who want to become customers. So what we're finding from people out there who are new prospects, things like that, new clients that come to us, most of them that come to us already know about us and our reputation and what we're all about. So we're more, I would say, middle tier priced. We're not the highest priced. We're also never the lowest price, and we don't compete on price anymore. But what we found is that a lot of customers will come to us because they want unique solutions to their situation, and where they have a difficult operation, say, where they need some things to be better managed for them in terms of unique ways to save them money while at the same time getting the high level of service that they require for their operations and for their employees that are on site. So we have found in this day and age, people are really looking to cut their budgets as much as possible across the board. I mean, I don't know about what you're seeing in the businesses that you're in, but things have really tightened up in this industry, at least for us, over the past couple of years. I mean, there was, after COVID, a step away from using a traditional office and being in the office 5 days a week. But that's coming back, and it has come back significantly. Yeah. But in that regard, we had customers that we'd service 5 days a week. Many of them will come to us and say, hey, how can we maybe shave off a couple thousand a month in our monthly invoice. Is there a way that you can do that while still giving us a certain level of service that we expect? And
Yeah.
so we've seen a lot more of that. I mean, now we service over 1,000 businesses a month.
Wow.
So with that breadth of customer base that we have now, a lot of them, especially our largest ones, will proactively come to them and say, hey, listen, for your budget next year, is everything good? Is it where you want it to be? Or can we do anything to try and help you out and try and come up with unique solutions to help them in their budgeting process?
Yeah, I love the focus of your business on customer service. I feel like, ironically, customer service has been one of these areas where when I read like the early case studies of like using AI or whatever, they're like, oh, well, we automated all of our customer service. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing you could do.
That's
Like that's like the most important connection that you have, right? You
yeah.
know, think about it,
Yep.
right? Like I think like the companies that I have had good customer service from, I am lifelong loyal. I will do anything for those companies, right? It's really it's a funny one. I don't know why technology companies started there of all the
Yes.
places, you know?
100%. Yeah, we get those requests or calls and spammed all the time. We can automate your customer service with AI. We can answer the phones for you with AI. AI can have conversations with your customers to answer their easy questions, things like that. And we just say no. We want to. People want to talk to a live person still.
So listen, I mean, Bill, now that you've become an entrepreneur, tell me a little bit about the passion for this space. Like, what kind of, where do you find joy in what you're working on?
Yeah, so for me, I think the most, and for my wife as well, I think the most fulfilling thing for us is seeing how we're changing people's lives in terms of the cleaners that work with us. We now service the entire country, and we work with a lot of subcontractors across the country. And we have a very intense vetting process for those subcontractors. And those that make it through the system, and a lot of them are husband and wife teams or family based teams where it's a husband and wife and a couple of their kids that have a commercial, small commercial cleaning company. For some of them, and one of our largest cleaners in our space that we have working with us, she's and her husband, neither of them have GEDs. They don't have, they're not college educated, but they're making close to $1 million a year with us now.
Wow.
And when they started with us, they weren't making anywhere near $50,000. And so to see the transformation for her and her family and how it's benefited them, and again, for us, dozens and dozens of people like that, has been the most fulfilling thing for me, seeing how their lives are transformed and changed. And it's not because of anything we do for them, it's just that we give them an opportunity to work how they, to the best of their abilities, put in the time, put in the effort, work hard, work smart, and they're going to make a lot of money, and there's a lot of opportunity there for them to change their lives. And so that is the most fulfilling thing for me. And we work with an organization called Philadelphia Youth Networks here to help younger people that are most of them live in the city of Philadelphia that don't have a lot of opportunities. And we help them in terms of giving them opportunities within our industry and tell them how they can work within this industry. And there's a low barrier to entry in terms of cost and things like that. And you can make a really, really nice career for yourself without having to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, I love that. And I also love to hear about you guys. Now you said you're handling some work nationally now, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the plan for the future, but tell me a little bit about what you're thinking about for the near future for you guys.
Yes, one of the biggest things for us is that we have grown nationally over the past couple of years. Originally, when we purchased it based and did work in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware, but we actually had two of our largest clients have facilities throughout the country, and after we spent time with them and they got to know us, they started to ask us, can you please take on this facility in Minnesota? Can you take on this one in Ohio? Can you take this one in Florida and Arizona? And we were very apprehensive about it in the beginning because we don't want to under-deliver on our promise as we can do with our customers here. Like we want to deliver the same experience in Arizona as they're going to get in Philadelphia. So we took our time and we slowly built up our subcontractor network in some of these other areas. And we have some employees in some of these areas as well to work along with our subcontractors. And we still follow the same model in, say, Arizona as we do here in Philadelphia. And it's worked out really well. And that's where a lot of our growth is going to come from, I believe, is as we've serviced these larger customers outside of our area and moving into these other states and finding the right people to partner with in terms of the subcontractors that we've worked with. It's been a great experience for us and for our clients as well. And so and the other big thing for us is working with data centers and cleaning of data centers. That's a big opportunity for us moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, the data center space now, everyone's talking about it. Certainly the work that you do there is going to be key. But I mean, Bill, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I love the story. I love the fact that you and your wife took this chance. And I mean, it feels like a risk, but in some ways it's an educated risk, right? It all depends
Absolutely.
on kind of like what we think about for our experiences in life, right? I mean, I kind of look at it as you made an investment in yourself in the first half of your career where you were essentially kind of picking up skills, learning marketing, learning sales, your wife learning HR and talent management and all of those elements. And then you're applying it in a way where you can exponentially scale a business. And you know what? What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to have to go
Right.
back to work? You're
That's
going to have to
exactly
go get
what
a
I
job?
thought.
Right?
Yep,
So,
go back to a regular job.
exactly. Well, Bill, really enjoyable conversation. If someone wanted to learn more about you and what CNS Cleaning is up to, where's the best place to find you?
Yeah, so you can find us on the website, CNS, www.cnscleaningcocompany or co.com. I'm also on LinkedIn, so a lot of people reach out to me through LinkedIn. I'm under Bill is what everybody calls me, William Dunn. And shoot, I mean, those are the two best ways to get a hold of me. But we're like I said, CNS, you can reach us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can always leave voicemail for me or leave a call with one of the messages with one of the girls in the office. I'd be happy to talk to anybody.
Excellent. Well, Bill, thank you so much for being on the UNCAGED show. We've been talking to Bill Dunn. We've been talking to him about his business CNS Cleaning and his story of really how they got this business going, how they're scaling it. It's a really interesting thing. It's been talking to a lot of folks lately about this trend, and it does come out of some work, I guess, that I guess stemmed from Stanford originally, where a lot of folks coming out of business school didn't want to start businesses. They would acquire into businesses and really kind of take them in a direction where they can scale it and really build it into something material. And that's what we're seeing here with Bill's story. I mean, what an amazing engine. And certainly as we think about how all of these businesses, things like cleaning, HVAC, plumbing, are getting reinvented, there's just a tremendous opportunity in this space. So congratulations, buddy, and I look forward to talking again.
Thank you. Appreciate the time.
Cheers.